Hello and welcome to my top 10 list for 7 Worlds, 1 Planet. So this is my top 10 best moments from the series. This is easily the hardest of these lists I've had to do. There are so many things in 7 Worlds, 1 Planet that are great, so many sequences that are brilliant. So there's quite a lot of things that ended up not making the list. So before I dive into the top 10, a few honourable mentions would be the mayflies, the hamsters, the elephant seals, the thorny devils, the fruit bats and the crocodiles, manatees. There's loads of stuff that didn't make the list, but without further ado, here are the top 10 best moments for me from the series. So number 10, I've got the brown hyena. The brown hyena sequence felt really special. It was just really cool. It did a good job of kind of making an animal that would normally be kind of the villain sympathetic. The stuff with her at the ghost town was really cool, made it seem like a really special sequence. Her going for the seals was also cool. The black-backed jackals as well was really good. It really did a good job of making them more intimidating than they normally are. I just thought it was a really good sequence. It was one of the things I remember when the trailer came out. I thought, oh, that'll be interesting, and it was. It was really good. Yeah, really good stuff. Really good part of the series. Number 9, I've got the dingoes hunting kangaroos. This was something I'd never really seen before. I think I'd seen snippets of it in other series, but this was the first really in-depth hunt featuring dingoes and kangaroos. It was really good. It did a really good job of showing you how clever they were. And while I've seen these kind of sequences before, dogs hunting big game, it's nothing new. But we've never seen dingoes and kangaroos in this situation before, so I thought that was really good, and I think they did a good job of picking the one female, that white female, and making her the kind of star of the sequence, so you were sympathetic to the dingoes, and that's not an animal you'd normally be sympathetic towards, I don't think. And number 8, I've got the wolves hunting the red deer at night. This was great because it was very ghostly. In my review I kept calling it infrared, it's actually thermal imaging, so apologies there. But yeah, the thermal imaging was used very well here. I think this sequence was very instrumental in making thermal imaging a more popular way of filming these kind of sequences. You saw a lot more of that after this series for sure. And while it was a great hunt, and it was really entertaining watching the wolves hunting the deer, the fact that they were hunting near a human settlement was very much in the forefront of the sequence, whether it be just the houses they're walking past, the fact that the road was instrumental in the hunt, and right at the end when the sheepdogs steal their kill, it did a really good job of showing you the pros and cons of living near a human settlement for these animals. Number 7, got the Iranian viper. This was just so unexpected. It was really cool. It's not a species that we'd seen before. The fact that I've had to call it the Iranian viper shows that it doesn't even have a name. Really, it's not got a common name. This was just really cool. I kind of suspected when I saw the thing moving around that it wasn't a spider, but the fact that it was a snake and it was so well concealed, they did such a good job of hiding it. First time around, I didn't see the snake at all, and even on the second viewing, you can see it's there, but you did have to kind of look for it. I thought it was great. I just thought it was a really good sequence, something really cool. We hadn't seen it before. We're probably never going to see it again. And it was just cool. And number 6, I've got the cheetah hunt. So when the trailer for the series dropped, I was like, okay, cheetah's hunting, that'll be fine. No, it was great. It's the best cheetah hunt I've ever seen. That one shot of the cheetah just coming out after the topee and all the other cheetahs joining it and then getting really close to the camera, so it does feel quite miraculous that they were able to get the whole hunt in that one shot. Is great. I'd seen many cheetah hunts before, but this is the best one. It's just really impressive. You got the 5 cheetahs hunting topee as well, an animal you don't see very often. They're actually the fastest antelope in Africa. Really cool. I just thought it was great. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to be a highlight of the series for me when it first dropped, and it absolutely was. So yeah, really cool stuff. And number 5, I've got 2 sequences tied, kind of cheating, but that is everything involving the Gen 2 penguins in the Antarctica episode. There's 2 main sequences there that are great. The first being the orcas going for them. That drone footage is pretty spectacular. The orcas coming out almost like ghosts. Great stuff. That hunt was amazing. The leopard seal hunt was also terrific. Probably the best leopard seal hunt I've ever seen, I think. And much like the cheetahs, I've seen a lot of those as well. That was just great. The leopard seal going a couple of times, it could very easily get it, but it just chooses to toy with it. It's great. The drone footage there is spectacular. And in the end, when the penguin manages to get into the ice, and the leopard seal is able to haul itself onto the same bit of ice, but it's still out of reach. It's just really good. It's a really good end to that sequence. Those sequences were amazing. The Gen 2 penguins were great because you don't see them very often, especially compared to emperor penguins, king penguins, and Adelie penguins, or even chinstrap penguins, to be honest. This was just terrific. I thought it was great. And yeah, as I said, the best leopard seal sequence I've ever seen, and that is not an easily won crown. At number 4, I've got the polar bears hunting the belugas, so that was great as well. That was one of the bits from the trailer I was like, that's going to be great. And it was. It was a really tense sequence. You were on the side of the polar bears, but you're also sympathetic towards the belugas. They did a good job of actually showing you that the belugas were not easy to catch. And when the polar bear does manage to get it, it's really cool. And I like how it did relate to climate change. It did talk about how this is a relatively new type of behaviour. It isn't that widespread, and so it shows you how adaptable the polar bears are. It was really cool. I thought it was really good. It was one of the sequences I was looking forward to most from the series, and it did not disappoint me. It's great. And number 3, I've got the grey-headed albatross. There's a lot of sequences in this series that were very emotional and were very tense. This is the most tense and most emotional sequence from the series. It's just brilliant. When the chick gets blown off the nest, you're like, you're really on the side of the chick. But the fact that his dad just won't even acknowledge it because it's not on the nest, so it can't recognise it, that's just absolutely heartbreaking. And the fact that you see there's other dead chicks around the area makes you really want that chick to get on the nest. I don't think I've cared as much about an animal in one of these series as much as I did with that chick. It was really great. The fact that the chick did get on the nest was, thank God for that. But you do feel like that maybe isn't the norm, that these storms are going to be more frequent, so this story, more often than not, will not have a happy ending. Really good, really effective, and again, even without all the climate change stuff, it is just such an investing sequence, and I do think you'd be pretty hard-pressed to find someone that wasn't, invested in that sequence. And number 2, I've got the pumas hunting guanaco. So this is a sequence that was so good, it was replicated so many times after. There's been so many of these sequences that have come out after this one, and they're just, none of them are as good as this one though. It really puts pumas on the map, because pumas did not feature in these sequences very often, let alone as South American animals. You tended to think of them as being present in North America. This completely changed that perception. You got a few hunts, most of them were unsuccessful, really good, did a really good job of showing you how difficult it was to be a puma in this part of the world. Patagonia, while beautiful, is not an easy place to live, and when she did manage to take down that one guanaco at the end, you were really on her side, and even then she still got to drag it all the way back to her cubs. Really did a good job of showing you how devoted she was as a parent. I don't think pumas were animals that anyone had a really strong opinion of before this, generally speaking, but this did change that, and I think that was great. And the fact that we've got all these rip-off sequences after it showed you just how good this one was. It is a great sequence, and is probably one of the best sequences of the series. So number 1, I basically have another 2 sequences. Cheating again, I know, but still, these sequences are very similar in that they made me feel a certain way, and they're both very similar in execution, and that is from the first episode, the Antarctica episode, the stuff with whaling, and from the Africa episode, the stuff talking about conservation and how animals in Africa are under threat. These sequences are both terrific. They were both very emotional. I cared a lot watching it. I felt really devastated, especially the first one, the whaling stuff. The stuff about whaling is just gut-wrenching. Even though whaling isn't a major issue anymore, they did a really good job of talking about how bad it was. Showing you the whaling stations felt haunting. The fact that we get whale song in the score being played in the background was really great. The music as well in both sequences was terrific because it was so tense and so, really kind of almost scary. Kind of made you feel really on edge. And the stuff with the right whales was just gut-wrenching. I mean, how can you hear that and not just feel absolutely devastated? Really effective. The stuff in Africa as well with the northern white rhinos was great. The ivory, really effective. The fact that you realise that they'd chosen animals to focus on throughout the episode that were under threat so they could be used in that ending montage was just really clever, really well executed. And again, the fact that they related to the rest of the world made you really care. And both sequences, while being absolutely devastating and quite depressing, end in quite happy ways, showing you how whales have made a recovery, how there are other conservation success stories out there. Both sequences did a really great job of just sucking me in and making me really care. And while I was absolutely, heartbroken and devastated throughout the majority of those sequences, the endings of both did uplift me, and I like to think they uplifted other people as well. I think you'd be hard-pressed if you are someone that cares about the natural world, conservation, or just, animals in general, that you'd watch these 2 sequences and not care. I think you'd be really hard-pressed to find someone that didn't. So yeah, I thought they were great. So yeah, this series is, as I've said, amazing. It's there hasn't been one that's come out after it that's topped it. It is up there as one of the best ones in my opinion. I think it's pretty near perfect, to be honest. What were your best moments in the series? Did you agree with mine? Was there a lot of stuff I missed off? I'm sure I did. So yeah, let me know. And yeah, as ever, feel free to let me know in the comments below what you'd like me to talk about next. This is the last video I'll be doing about the series. Open to anything as long as I can access it. And yeah, as ever, feel free to like, comment and subscribe, or don't if you don't want to, it's perfectly fine. I'll see you next time for whatever I'm talking about, and goodbye.